Okay, let's talk about slap tones. Slap tones are very high pitched, right up here near the edge, and it's the hardest one to produce. You have to keep your hands very loose, like you're slapping somebody. See how loose my hand is? If there's any rigidity in it, it won't work. So I'm going to slap it, but I'm going to keep it cupped so that it looks like this. I can cup it. And I'm going to keep my fingers out of the way. My thumbs are going to be pointing up, and my fingers are going to cup so I can almost look down into a little cave here. And they're way up here on the sides, the edges. And I'm going to stay loose all the way to the end. I'm going to just get this whipping effect, slap my hands down on it, and then at the very last second, I'm going to pull into the head. So it really will buzz the end of your fingers. Again, you're hitting on the edge, on the flat part of on the fleshy part of your hand. The ridge of your hand, your lifeline, is actually hitting on this worn part of the head. It's nice to have comfort curves on your drum. So now if you mute it, double mute it over here, you'll get even a drier sound. See how I'm pulling in? I'm really having to dig into the head because it's so thick. It really kind of hurts your hand when you're first starting because you tend to hit the bones instead of the fleshy part of your fingers. So stay loose and just stay over on the edge and just practice staying loose, pulling in at the last minute. You can practice this feeling of pulling in like this. You just got to get that really slappy sound. So that's the muted slap, S with a slash through the S. Some people call these pops, because if you do them right on a really tight conga or a quinto, which is the higher pitched, or a super quinto, or on a djembe, boy, you'll get a real crack, a real pop, and it'll really signal like a backbeat. Sometimes they play these slaps off the edge here and they pull it up. So they're still pulling it in, but then they're pulling it up like this. And so that would be an open slap, and I just don't. It's almost just like a high-pitched open tone, and we're going to get into that next. So let's talk about open tones. Open tones, I like to create the letter A. So my hands are relaxed, and this part, the lifeline, is right on the edge. And when I get done playing, my hand has been hitting on the rim, on the fleshy part, this part right on the edge, and the sound is coming out. I'm not relaxing my hands. I'm not muting the head after I play it. So I can keep my hands down there, but I don't recommend that. I recommend pulling it up, pulling the sound out. You want to get away from a slappy sound. You want a very clear dong, 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 because this is a slappy sound. I'm really slapping near the edge. I don't want that sound. I want to be right here. just slaps that ring. So I like open tones over here. So here's a classic case. Hear the open tone. If you put a slash through an open, boy, you basically have your hand on the drum. Here's your muted open. It sounds pretty dead. It's just an open tone that's muted. I don't see that much. And I'd rather use a slap if I want a dead sound.